News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users. On demand on iTunes and on YouTube and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not, no retribution. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten, and I welcome you to the show. And I remind you to please go early and often, just like voting in Chicago, to PaltalkNewsNetwork.com and read stories that you may or may not see, hear, or read in the mainstream media. Stories that you need to know in order to be an informed citizen of the world. Those of you who are listening on CRN Digital Talk Radio or on our various internet radio affiliates, if you go to joinchatnow.com, click on that link, it will magically transport you into the Paltalk Virtual Auditorium so you can participate in today's discussion and future discussions. There's no download, and it's free to join. Well, new credit card rules are now in effect here in the United States. They were designed to keep the card companies from charging excessive interest rates and from harassing and pressuring customers. I know from personal experience that my interest rates were going up, even though my credit rating was improving. They started charging me as we got closer and closer to the deadline, more and more and more, higher and higher interest, to the point where I just said, the hell with it, I'm through. I am not using my credit cards any longer. That's it. I'm through. Forget it. Now, when I travel, I use it. I use a credit card for convenience, but I pay it off at the end of the month, which is not what they want you to do, I don't think, and it doesn't help you with your credit card rating. Anyways, that's my perception, but what do I know? Well, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, I'm going to find out right now, because Clarky Davis, the Debt Diva, is here to help us avoid the major loopholes. She is a debt management expert with more than 10 years of personal and professional experience. As the Debt Diva, she offers financial fitness education and real-world money-saving tips to help consumers trim their spending in just about every area of their lives. Her expertise is founded on her own personal experience in racking up debt and learning to live within her means while paying it down. Her personal debt management success piqued her interest in the industry and prompted her certification in credit counseling as the Debt Diva for Care One Credit Counseling. She shares her savvy debt management tools with consumers and provides free, did you hear that, guys? Free downloadable guides at Debt Diva or thedebtdiva.com. She's appeared on ABC News Now, Fox Business, Fox and Friends, Nightline, and now, even more importantly, on News Talk Online on the Paltalk News Network. Clarky Davis, welcome to News Talk Online on the Paltalk News Network.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you heard what I said. These are, of course, my impressions. I have trouble balancing my checkbook, much less understanding all of this stuff. It's just not my forte. But it was my sense that after Congress passed the legislation that was designed to protect us, the credit card companies moved in there and did everything in their power to screw us in the interim until the new rules took effect. Am I right about that, or is it just me picking on the poor credit card companies?
It seems that way. I think, one of the big challenges was that they signed this bill into law on May 22nd. And it took until August for 3 provisions to go into effect, and the rest of them weren't implemented until February 22nd. So it really gave creditors a lot of time to basically, all hands on deck, what can we do to prepare for this new law coming into place, how it's going to affect our business, and what can we do right now to try and squeeze out of consumers what we can. So I know, like you, I got a notice in the mail. My interest rate has gone up from 7% to 11.99%. So, everyone should be starting to be getting notices if they haven't already of changes that are taking place. And I tell folks, especially right now, a lot of times people get mail through traditional snail mail. They, they basically put it in a recycling bin, shred it, don't even look at it. Now is when you need to be making sure you go through all your mail to see any changes your creditors are implementing. Check your email, check any information on your accounts to make sure that you are aware so that you're able to make smart spending decisions, because I like you, after that, said, you know what, I'm not even going to bother using this credit card for monthly purchases.
No, exactly. And now that they can no longer charge excessive interest rates, I'm no longer, I know it's only been a few days now, getting inundated by them with these loss leader 0% interest rate opportunities, which I guess if you're paying 30% or 20% or somewhere in between interest, that's pretty freaking attractive when they send you a low or no interest rate for X number of months opportunity. But then I guess you have to be very careful not to carry that on beyond the terms of the low interest rate that they're offering you, because it's going to kind of umbrella up. Is that the term they use? Rocket up? What's the term they use?
Yes, and I'll tell you this, getting into the interest rate discussion, they can still hike up your interest rate. There is no cap on the rate they can charge you. They just now have to give you 45 days notice before they raise it. So they can still raise your interest rate to 30%, and really punish a struggling consumer who may have paid their bill late. They can do that, but now they just have to give you a heads up, we're going to be charging you more.
Wow. So once again, Congress claimed to be doing one thing for us, and they're doing something completely differently. And that's really,
and then like
really
you said, with the promotional rates, I definitely think that any consumer protections that we can put in place is always beneficial to a consumer. However, one of the glaring omissions was a cap, putting an honest-to-goodness cap, saying you can't charge more than this on interest. Now, they did say, if you offer a promotional rate, say you get something in the mail that says you're going to get this fabulous 0% promotional rate, and you sign up for it, they have to honor that for the month that they said they would. They can't, go in 3 months after you've transferred all your month debt onto one card for a 0% benefit, and then they decide 3 months into it when they had told you 9 that they can up your interest rate. They now have to honor everything they say in that promotion. And once it does go up, they have to make sure they're clear with their communication to you about what it is they are going to charge after that promotional rate ends. And they have to stay at that rate.
Well, that's exactly my point, Clarky. How do you even know what